transitioning the mount and dealing with when they put you in quarter guard or hang on to your foot. So let's just say we're playing our knee shield position. Doesn't really matter if it's low body or high in the shoulder. To keep it simple, we'll just have it high in the shoulder. So we know how to get the home base from here. I'm going to put my weight on the knee and then I just change my angle and drop my reverse cross face so it's beside his head. We don't care whether Card is the underhook or not. The goal is to walk my leg as far away from my other leg as possible. I can use my hand as a base. I'm squishing Card's head right between my left elbow and my left lat. And the further I walk, my knee line starts to, Card is losing it, he's going to have to regrip. And then he's toe. So then we go heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, until I get my foot as close to the spot as possible. And then we don't use our hand, like we talked about last time. We put our hand on the hip and start to use the elbow. So now I've beat his hip line, my knee is free. And now all I'm looking to do is mount. If he doesn't push in my knee, I'm just bringing my knee across. I'm into the mount, but Card has still triangled my leg. Just turn this way, bro. My knee is free, it's on the mat, but he has my foot trapped. So if you're not familiar with this is called quarter guard. I mean, there's some cool ways of getting out of this, rolling back attacks and stuff, but we're just going to keep it really simple. If I'm caught in quarter guard, I have two hands, one on either side of Carl's head. I am going to bring both hands to the same side that the foot's trapped, and we have two pathways from here. Is your opponent flat on his back, or is he turned onto the side to start to work the elbow knee escape? Let's look at if he's flat on his back. We want to put him in the chiropractor's position. Notice the way Carl's knees are pointing this way. I'm going to use my forearm to turn his head so his head's pointing the other way, like the chiropractor position, obviously. And when I do that, just keep your head up straight, Carl. If I try to pull my foot out, Carl is pretty good pinch with his adductors on my foot. But the minute you turn someone's head this way, they just lose that ability to clamp onto your foot. So the first one is, from here, I get two hands on the same side that the foot is trapped, and then I'm just going to use my forearm to push his chin the other way, and we just start tugging to get it out. Okay? Look at that again. Knee shield. Put weight on the knee shield, depending on where it was. If it was a little bit lower, we talked about lifting our hips higher, and then dropping it into that space. So we're here, walking our foot out, then starting to work elbow knee, heel toe, hand goes in the hip, and then I use my elbow to free my knee so you can see it. Last time we looked at, obviously he pushed on the knee to stop the mount, but this time he doesn't. So now I'm bringing my knee towards the mat. But now Carl doesn't stay flat on his back. If you're familiar with mount escapes, he's already into the elbow knee escape. Okay, so the way he's turned onto the side, he'll want to now push my knee between his legs, and then either when an underhook he's into half guard, or frame and bring his other knee through. Yep. Now I'm back in the close guard. Most of you should be familiar with that. Let's turn this way, buddy. So we end up here. So he's turned onto the side. Okay, so it's a wee bit more complex now, because now he can escape the position. So we need to make the knee heavier. How do we do that? If I have two knees on the mat, my weight is equal 50-50 on each knee. If I plant a foot on the mat, if I take my left foot on the mat and plant it, now more of my weight is on my right knee because my left knee is off the mat. The detail is we don't plant our foot with the leg in line with the hips, because now Carl can move his hips this way and put me into single leg X. Alright, so when we're here, he's on the side, okay? I'm going to lift my left knee off the mat, but I'm going to plant my foot higher up and I wedge my knee against the shoulder line. Also, my two hands are on the mat. So if Carl tries to move his head back to get into single leg X, I've made a wedge here. Okay, now if you've noticed, when he goes to work elbow knee, he wants to bring his head towards my knee, so he's like curled up in a ball. We want to be doing the opposite. So once I'm here, I'm not going to hang around because Carl's going to start initiating the elbow knee escape. So now from here, my left hand finds his head and I push it as far away from my knee as possible. Okay? If he tries to work elbow knee from here, it's difficult. And then to free my foot, we just lean on the chin and we free the foot. Okay? Very, very simple, but very, very effective. So, from our knee shield position again, the goal is to get to home base. I put weight on him, and then I change the angle, and I drop down into the reverse cross-face position, so here. Then I want to make sure to the big car slightly on the side, so I'm going to flatten him out. We want to keep him flat. Hands posted, walk your leg out, getting it as far away from the top leg as possible. From there, hand on the hip, start walking up, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Use that as a wedge to free my knee line. Obviously, if he pushes on the knee, it's last week's class. If he doesn't, we need a response. I'm just going to mount. So if he stays flat on his back, two hands on this side, and I use my elbow just to turn his chin. So he's in that chiropractor's position. And then just start tugging on your foot. If they're still clamping, just lean more on their head. Okay. So pathway 1. Pathway 2. Yours is starting to turn onto the side. I need to make this knee heavy. So I just plant my foot on the mat, but I don't stay in line with his hips because he can move his hips this way. Single leg X is in. Yep. So my foot comes further up, more towards the shoulders. I'll use this knee to wedge, and then I put my weight on my hands. Okay, but I'm not going to hang around here. Carl can still start working elbow knee. Yeah, I can lose this position very, very quickly. So, back. So once I've made that wedge, that closes him moving this way to go into single leg X, but it doesn't stop elbow knee. What stops elbow knee is I need to move his head far away from the knee that he's trying to push between his legs. My hands are on this side. So I'll just put my hand on his head and push it as far as possible. Alright. So we're here, just push it and keep your other hand posted. Then from there I'll just use my forearm to turn his head. Carl's going to keep his pinch on. It's very difficult because now we're putting him in that chiropractor's position.